welcome back to our show. For our first guest today, we have Sondre Kalik, who's a women's sales success coach, and she's here today to talk to us about how you can live a lifestyle you love. We get many people about asking about this, actually, Sondre.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Yeah. And I think too, like what determines a lifestyle that we love, and for me, I think it's all about how we balance what it is that we want and need and how it is that we achieve those wants and needs, and how we do that without burning ourselves out in the process. There's no point in, flogging yourself every day to achieve something that won't actually make you happy at the end of the day. So a balance is about what comes as your internal drivers. How you choose to make your money in the world, in my opinion, and this is my humble opinion, is that it should be aligned with your values. Otherwise we become a lot like other people in the world, really, don't we? Who are perhaps just making money for money's sake. And I find that a lot of women particularly want to create a business, or they want to help other people, or they have, genuine and creative ideas that they want to be able to share with the rest of the world. And how you do that so that it supports the lifestyle that you want is the fun part, because otherwise it's just all or nothing. Balance in how we do that and keep our health and keep our well-being, both, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. All of those things need to really be part of this conversation that says, how do we live a life that we love? Part of having a lifestyle that we love, obviously, is being able to create the means by which to have a lifestyle that we love. And I remember as a younger woman being a single mum, working 3 jobs, and really all I saw in front of me was more hard work, a lot of long hours and a lot of sleepless nights. And this constant stress and struggle about how I was going to provide was, the biggest part of my lifestyle at that point in time. And I was fortunate enough to get into a sales role, which enabled me to make more money than I had previously. But what that opened up for me was not just money for money's sake. And I think, for me, it enabled me to provide really well for my little family of 2. And it also opened up other career opportunities that I may not necessarily have got without having that foundational skill of being able to present a really good idea, be open in a communication, and being able to listen as to how that opportunity could work for other people. And so, in terms of economic empowerment, particularly for females, we tend to be more entrepreneurial by nature, and being able to sell without being salesy is a real skill. It's in fact quite an art, but one that I think that every woman is already naturally doing. But when we're in a situation when we're talking about our own products or our own services, then we kind of lose that art for some reason. I don't know, it gets a little odd for a lot of women. But economic empowerment is, in your business, is your sales. It is the very lifeblood of your business. And the lifestyle that you want to have is driven by how much money that you can create in there. It's not everything in a lifestyle, but it's certainly a very key component.
So for the women, for our audience out there, our viewers, what would be another little tip about the first thing they could start, for instance, to find that?
In terms of like feminine empowerment, the first thing I would say, ladies, is find yourself a genuine women's circle. There are a lot of them that are available, in the community, and go along, try them out, introduce yourselves, and look at a way where you create community around you that supports you, not necessarily just a networking situation. We as women have so many layers to us, and they all need to be served.
Thank you, Sondre. And for more information on Sondre and economic empowerment, then please go to our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we'll be back next with Tracy on more about raw food. Welcome back, and we welcome back once again Tracy Jardim. Welcome, Tracy.
Thanks, Linda.
And Tracy's here today to talk to us more about raw food, and this time it's to do with healthy digestion. So Tracy, can you tell us more about how raw food helps your digestion?
Yeah, did you know that our guts have billions and billions of bacteria, and in fact most people have over 1,000 different types of bacteria in their stomach.
Oh wow.
I know, it's a lot, isn't it? And it's quite often that until something goes wrong, we don't know that there is something wrong. So the reason why we advocate that people should eat more raw foods is because raw food contains lots and lots of fibre, which is really good for us, reduces inflammation in the digestive system, so less bloating and as well as gas. That's why we say raw food is healthy and better for our digestive system.
Oh, well, that's great. It's great to know. So with more about, what would you say that you could tell our viewers about how to improve their gut health? Is it just generally eating raw food, or is there specific ways of doing that?
I would say that definitely adding more raw food into your diet, ensuring that you're getting lots of fibre and nutrients and lots of good enzymes that come from raw foods. For example, nuts and seeds, good oils like olive oil, also things like lots of leafy greens and fruits and vegetables.
Okay. And I know there's talk out there about, the balls, the bliss balls and things like that. So what sort of things go into making bliss balls?
Well, all raw ingredients can go into, if you're making them yourself at home, you can put things like dates and nuts and seeds, some chia seeds or sesame seeds, even flax seeds, really good, especially for women's health. You could also put things like some cacao powder and any sort of dried fruits, things like that, and push it all together, put it in your food processor and then roll them.
Oh, that's wonderful information. Thank you. So do you have a favourite one?
Oh, absolutely.
Favourite flavour?
A favourite flavour is chopped peanut.
Great. Well, once again, thank you, Tracy. You've got full of chock block full of information for us. And for more information on your gut health, then please go to our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. We'll go to break now. Welcome back, and we have Dr. Zara Chelik back with us, our integrative health and wellness expert, and today she's talking to us about stress management. So Zara, stress management, can you tell us a bit more about managing stress? We have, I'm sure, many viewers who experience stress in their daily lives. We hear about it all the time.
So there are two types of stress. We've got the new stress and there's a chronic stress. New stress is actually beneficial. It helps us to produce outcome and meet a deadline, and it helps us to push through that boundary, that challenge, and get an amazing outcome. Then there is a chronic stress. And again, with chronic stress or stress in general, our perceptions also come into playing a role. So there could be an event, and we both will perceive it completely different and react completely different, and our physiology will be completely different, and along with the biochemistry for both of us. So it really also comes down to our perceptions, right, when it comes to stress. The other thing is our language. That's a big one. It plays a big role as to how we perceive daily, day-to-day tasks, or the language that we use in our work environment, with people around in our circle, with our loved ones, because that whole language can shift so much in our physiology, in our biochemistry, as well as our psychology. So really, we can, for example, I can just right now say, I have to cook, Or I can say, I get to cook. Can you see how my physiology, my body just shifted along with that? So with the word, how I use my language with the second one, I get to, that's what gratitude, that's coming in. When we have that gratitude coming in, the language is different. It's not really stressful anymore because I'm saying I get to, and it's divine, it's nice, and my body likes that as well. So that, whether it is the cooking that I'm saying I have to or I get to, whether it is my emails, I have to check my emails. So that task becomes so simple and it is no longer stressful. So number one is language. What language are you using to associate with your daily, day-to-day tasks, activities, or with people around in your circle? So that's a big one. Then, of course, taking care of our physical body as well. Exercise, meditation, the spiritual well-being, spending more time being out in nature, connecting with nature. It helps us to be more grounded, more authentic, more objective. The other thing is making sure that we're not holding on to resentments, we're not judging people. We are conserving our energy to produce amazing outcome, optimum outcomes, sustainable outcomes with things that we do, and we create that leisure and pleasure out of daily tasks and activities. So those things really come handy and very beneficial when it comes to managing stress skillfully. So we're not creating that imbalance in the nervous system, because when there is a chronic stress, there is an effect on our cortisol. There is effect on our hormones. There is effect on our adrenal glands, the cortisol levels. We don't want to overdrive that. We don't want to be in the fight and flight mode all the time as if we're really running away from a tiger, a real threat. With the modern world, we tend to create that with the language that we use or with our perceptions as well. So it is important that we are mindful of our language, mindful of the things happening, and to have gratitude and work on ourselves at mind, body, spiritual level to create that balance, to create that equanimity and that equanimity within and that equity between the others as well. So we are not challenged by little things or by people or with it could be at work with a colleague. So we're not feeling challenged because we bring ourselves to be that authentic, objective, creative self. And that plays a big role. Just being that authentic, at all times plays a big role really when it comes to managing stress skillfully. So for those people who are just starting out, I will say start paying attention to the language that you're using. But for the others, they've already been working on that and also working on their well-being at mental level, emotional level, physical level, like exercising or being in nature and things like that, or practicing spirituality. Go to that next level of mastery and work on your mind. So when it comes to working on the mind, it is that immanent and transcend the mind, which I covered in our previous interviews. That is a big one because mind really plays a role in terms of mental well-being, but also overall creating that equanimity, that homeostasis and equilibrium in the cells and within the cells. So that's what I would like to share and give to our viewers.
Wonderful. And would you have any more, just to end the program, your absolute favourite advice for the viewers about stress management?
So I said, work on your perceptions, really analyse to see, are you making it bigger than it is? So I will say, start paying attention to your language and see whether it is something to make something greater out of it and perceive it as to be stressful. Or is it something that you can say, hey, that's not that crucial, it happened for me, not to me. How is that benefiting me? How is it helping me grow? How is it helping me to thrive and go to next level? So start from there will be what I will really get people to focus and pay attention to.
Well, thank you very much, Zara.
Thank you for having me.
And for more information on Dr. Zara Celik and stress management, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, And now we'll go to break, and after the break we'll be back with more guests and topics. And now we have something completely different. Petros Delitis is joining us today, who's a chef, and he's here today talking to us about healthy eating, and he's going to show us a vegan salad dressing. Welcome, Petros.
Thanks, Linda.
So what sort of ingredients are you working with today?
Look, I source ingredients from all over Victoria. So Kookaburras are all the asparagus is grown for in Australia. All we've done today to this asparagus is just roast it at about 180 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes. Just gets nice and golden and beautiful. The dressing we're going to do for it is something super simple and easy. It's a multi-purpose dressing for me. We use it for dressing a salad. We use it for, you know, a little spoon over some barbecued or grilled meats. You know, it's really super conventional. You can even toss a salad with it as well, you know, over some lettuce leaves. It's just a really good alternative to pesto. So it's no nuts and no cheese, so it's completely vegan.
Okay.
But we've just got some basil here. I'm going to tear off some parsley, the whole bunch. Straight in there. I got some garlic, some chili, and I'm just going to zest a lemon in here as well. So all I'm doing here, I'm just going to top and tail, I suppose, the lemon, and I'm going to sort of segment on the outside. I'm going to try and not have as much as this pith, because that's what actually makes it bitter. The less work you give your machine to do, the faster your dressing's going to come up, and ultimately, whenever you're blending herbs like this, you don't want to have obstruction when you're blending. You don't want to have, you know, if I put this whole lemon in here like this, it'll take too long to blend. So when you're dealing with herbs, you want to blend as fast as possible. So what that means is, yes, we're going to use a food processor, but we're only going to blend for about 30 seconds. So I'm going to get about 250 mils of oil in here, and I'm just going to blend it, and that's it. So now that the dressing's done, that just takes sometimes 20 to 30 seconds. As I said, from this stage, we can put it into a container or a salad dressing bottle and leave it in the fridge. It keeps up to a week. But for now, I just want to develop some flavor into this asparagus salad. The darkened asparagus from roasting the vegetables is really nice, but I'm trying to juxtapose some color here with the dressing and the blood orange and the fennel that I want to incorporate. All I'm doing here is just dressing a little bit of apple cider vinegar. It's just a little quick pickle. Again, I'm going for some acidity because all we've put on the asparagus is some chopped thyme. So chopped thyme and some olive oil into the oven. So I'm just going to leave this here for a few moments and let it like naturally break it down a little bit. It won't be too much because we're using fennel. I really want some citrus on this. So as much as the acidity from the apple cider vinegar is really good, I feel as if the citrus from blood oranges is something that's, one, colourful, and it's going to increase some colour onto the plate, but it's going to give us a different type. So I'm going to just do a little bit of blood orange zest over the top. And the same way as I did with the lemons, I'm just going to remove the pith and do like slices. But the reality is, if you just had, if we just approached it a little bit differently with our salads, that's something that we've always done.
Beautiful colour in the blood orange, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, if you don't have any blood oranges, you can just use a navel orange or a grapefruit if you want. Like, it's whatever, a little bit of everything in here. And we're just building the salad. And now the fennel has done its work. The apple cider vinegar has done its work on the fennel. It's nice and acidic, and it hasn't broken it down completely. It hasn't deteriorated. But the fennel now has a different level of acidity. So as much as you've got sweet and acidic oranges, you're now going to have some beautiful, sweet, fresh fennel. Again, we're playing this game. I like to work on textures as much as I can. Excite the palate when we eat as much as possible. So I'm even going to incorporate some pumpkin seeds over the top. And again, like you mentioned before, for the vegan contingent of the world can eat nuts and pumpkin seeds, and that's fine. But again, I wanted texture now to finish our dish with now. The dressing here, I said it's really loose. It doesn't really change its consistency much when you keep it in the fridge overnight or whatever. Just a little over the top.
Wow.
And as I said, this is really good on roasted and grilled meats off the barbecue or out of the oven. So it's super easy. You can make that any time. As I said, this keeps at least a week in the fridge.
Thank you, Petros, for sharing. It looks and smells absolutely divine. And for more information on Petros and healthy eating, then please go to our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And for now, we'll say bye-bye, and we'll see you back here next week.